Hi everyone, welcome to this Pilates practice. My name's Debbie and I'm going to be taking you through the practice today. Oh, got a bit of sun on me there. Hang on, let me just pull that blind down, sorry guys. Glare all on me there. So my name's Debbie, I'm going to be taking you through the practice today. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. So if you have heard this before and you've done one of my practices before and you just want to push on to the practice, then do so. Before you do, today I'm going to be using hand weights. Again, something I use most practices that I do, but it's entirely up to you. All the moves that I do and all the positions we take can be taken without the use of those, and a strap or a band. Now, if you haven't got anything like that, you can use a dressing gown cord, something that's going to be using it for support. Again, you can do it without the band, without the strap. Everything that I do can be done with just ourselves and no props involved. So anyway, if you feel you want to move on, please do. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and tell you just a small bit about myself. So as I said, my name's Debbie. Been doing Pilates now for around about the last 18 years, maybe a bit longer. I started after I had a premature menopause at the age of 29. I got osteopenia. It went into full-blown osteoporosis, and then I prolapsed a disc. Prolapsing a disc is not fun. I was on endless medications, I was seeing physiotherapists, I was doing all sorts, and it was just awful. And being that I was still quite young, I decided, I need to look at alternatives. I can't just take medications and hope it's going to sort, my world. And I looked around and Pilates came up. I haven't looked back since, I just keep doing it, and I have found that using my core, which Pilates works around core control, it's helped to support my spine, it helps to support me, and plus, as we get older, our cells decrease. They don't grow as fast as they do when you're younger, and for us to promote the bones to grow, hence I use weights. So what I do is I build up my muscle, and if you get your muscle stronger, wherever that may be, if you're walking, if you're working your legs, the muscles are growing, and because the muscles are growing, the bones have to compete, so that the cells will grow a bit faster and obviously help to support our bones, etc., and our structure. So I do hope that if you're new to this and you have similar ailments to me, that it does help you. Or if you're just doing it for the plain, sort of workout, fitness side of it, then again, I do hope that my practices sort of appeal to you and you enjoy them. So we're going to start by laying down. We're going to come either from our side, so you can come down from your side and lay onto your back. If you have low blood pressure, it's wiser to come down from the left. Otherwise, you can come down with me, and we'll come from a seated position, feet flat firmly onto the mat or the floor, and they're hip width apart. We don't want them wide, we don't want them close together. About hip width apart is nice. And we don't just drop back. What we do is we C-curve, so we bend our spine and we bend down. Our head is still forward as we're coming down. We're not coming back with a straight neck. We're rolling ourselves down. And as you roll down, you're pulling in your core. So Pilates works around breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, you pull in your core. As you breathe out, you again pull in your core. The core is what we want. We want it tight as much as we can throughout all the practice. Obviously, bending, the core is more difficult to hold, but throughout the practice, you try and hold that as much as you can. So we take a seated position. We take our arms out in front of us, we take a breath in and we pull in our core. And as we breathe out, we hold the core tight and we start to roll ourselves down. Now, if you get to a point where you can't hold it anymore, you take behind your legs and you use your legs, your thighs as support to bring yourself down. If you can't hold it from the core, because you're going to just damage your spine if you don't. And don't just drop down, roll down really slowly. So the spine's coming down one vertebrae, then the shoulders will hit the mat, the neck will go down, and your head will be the last thing to touch the mat. Okay, fabulous guys. So now we're down here, we're going to take a little bit of time to just check in with our bodies and see how we're feeling today. Looking for any areas of tension that we may have, and any areas that are tight that you find when we're here relaxing. Focus on those throughout the practice. Don't push them too hard, but ask them to soften down, ask them to relax and be aware of them. So we're going to do a full body stretch. So you can start by locking your knees in together and having your feet mat width apart, or you can take them long. The full body body stretch can be done either way. So I'm going to start here to show you those that have got your knees locked in. And you do this, if you have lower back issues, then this is a better way to start the practice. So you've got your knees locked in, your feet are mat width apart, and you're breathing in and you're pulling in that core. And as you breathe out, you're pulling the core more and you push your spine into the mat below. You squeeze the legs together, you squeeze them tight, you pinch your glutes, squeeze those glutes, and stretch away with your arms, squeezing everything, keeping the back pushed into the mat. And then you release down. Okay, do that again. If you've got your legs long, it's the same sort of thing. You're breathing in, pulling in the core. And as you're breathing out, you're also pushing your spine into the mat. You're stretching away with your arms and legs, squeezing everything tight, squeeze the glute, keep that back, push down into the mat, squeeze away, and then release. Fabulous, guys. Okay, taking the hands down beside you. Give yourselves a little bit of a move around, get yourself comfortable, and then lay yourself still. This is our point where we're going to take a look at ourselves, see how we're feeling. So looking at our toes and our ankles, how are they feeling today? We're walking, standing on them all the time. Sometimes we forget about our ankles. Give them a little bit of a circle. Just twist them one way, twist them the other. And then just let them relax down and notice if they're tight or they're not feeling the greatest today. Focus on them throughout the practice. Checking in with your calves, your knees and your thighs. Look at both legs. Ask them to soften and rest down, holding no tension in the legs at all. Focus around your glutes areas, let them go, let the glutes soften. Your pelvis and your lower core. And looking at your spine, the lower spine, the mid spine and the upper spine. Your whole spine, how is it feeling today? If you've got any niggles there, ask them to soften down. Release the stomach with the mid spine, release the chest with the upper spine. And check into your hands and your wrists. Your lower arms, your elbows and your upper arms, how are they feeling today? Ask them to be soft and restful. And we're going to look at our shoulders. We all hold a lot of tension in our shoulders. Soften them down. Maybe you want to lift the shoulders up and roll them down behind you. Let them soften down. Hold no tension there. Your neck. Let's just release that out gently by moving your head from side to side. The rest of your body is just rested down and still. And come to center and release the neck. Release your face, let all your facial muscles just soften down. Your head and the top of your head. Now have a quick scan of your body from the tips of the toes, over the shins, the calves, the knees and the thighs. Everything soft. Over your torso, from the glutes and the pelvis, over the tummy, up into the chest and the whole spine, soft. And then your arms, the tips of your fingers, through the bottoms of the arms, the elbows, the upper arms and your shoulders. All of those rested down, your neck and your head. Focusing now on any areas that you might feel are tight and not resting down, ask them to soften. Everything just go. Okay, let's start to bring some movement in now. So hopefully you've got your eyes closed down. Keep them closed down for the moment if you can. So So wriggling your fingers and your toes, waking yourself up. Bring yourself ready for the practice. Everybody taking their knees locked in, feet mat width apart. And then take your arms out into either a T shape or cactus arms. Cactus arms will open the chest slightly more. So if you're feeling that, then take them into cactus arms. But we need to keep our shoulders firmly on the mat. Then parting the knees. Taking in breath, pulling in that core. And on the out breath, allow the legs to drop over to the left hand side. Get into your point of tension and let everything go. Let the core go and rest there. You might have some tense hips. You might have your legs achy here or not resting. Ask them to soften down. All those tight areas, let them go. Next in breath, pulling in the core, and at the same time bring your legs to center, keeping the core tight and releasing it now. Take that on the other side, so big breath in through the nose, core tight, breathing out, keeping that core tight, dropping the legs over to the right hand side, and when you get to your point of tension, release the core. Breathing into any areas that are tense, that are not restful, and ask them to soften. And then on your next in-breath, pulling in the core. At the same time, bringing the legs to center, reaching center and releasing out. You can let the core go. Okay, we're going to do a few hugs here. I like to do a hug that helps the lower and the mid spine. So you can bring up your right leg, bring up your left leg, taking a breath in, pulling in the core. And on the out breath, pull the core tighter and squeeze the legs in. Feeling the opening in the mid and the lower spine. And then release. Let's do that again. Breath in, pulling in the core. Breath out, core tighter, squeeze the legs. Excellent. Allow the legs to drop back down. Okay, we're going to do a little bridge pose here, but before we do that, we're going to come into what's known as neutral spine. So neutral spine is where we tilt our pelvis up and lower it down. Just the pelvis, it's just a slight move, just a tiny move of lifting that up, but we're going to do it with our breath control. So we breathe in through the nose and we pull in our core. Core's going down. As we breathe out through the mouth, we squeeze the core tighter, but we just slightly lift the pelvis. Now we hold the core as we release it back down. Don't let the core go. Breathe in, pulling the core tighter. Breathing out. Core tight, you lift the pelvis. Keep that core tight. Release it back down, squeezing the core tight. You might be feeling that now, hopefully in the real lower stomach muscles there. Breathing in, pull the core tighter. Breathing out through the mouth, release the core. And release the self down. Okay, we'll do that again, but do that in your breath. Keeping the core as tight as you can and feeling every muscle clench and tighten and squeeze. So breathing in, pulling in the core. Breathing out, core tight as we lift the pelvis. You hold the core tight as you release it back down. You breathe in again. You breathe out and you lift the pelvis just slightly off. And then down. Keep doing that. Breath in, breath out. Don't let that core go at all. Breath in, breath out. And release down and release the core. You're now into what we call our neutral spine. So the spine will be nicely lengthen and flatten on the floor. Some people may have a slight arch. Some people have a natural curve to their spine, so they might have a little arch under their back. But predominantly, most of us will have a nice long flat back against the floor. So we're going to start by doing that move again, and as we come to lift the pelvis, we're going to take it a little bit farther and we're going to start to lift up. So you might want to bring your feet in a little bit closer, breathing in, pulling in that core, breathing out through the mouth, pull the core tighter, lift the pelvis, and then start to lift up, keeping the core tight, squeeze the glutes as you come up, squeeze, 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 coming up into a little back bend. Holding it there for a few moments, breathing in, and as you breathe out, you allow the back to start coming down, one vertebrae at a time, keeping the core tight, don't let it go. The lower spine will hit, and the last thing that comes down will be your tailbone. Let's do that again, breath in, pulling in the core, breathing out, core tighter, squeeze the pelvis up, start to move it up, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, squeeze everything as you're pushing up, holding it at the top. And then if you want, you can take your hands overhead. That's only if you want, if you feel happy, otherwise keep the hands down, holding it there for a breath, squeezing those thighs, squeeze the glutes, keep the core tight. And as you breathe out, you bring the hands back over, the core is tight, and you start to release yourself down, one vertebrae at a time, all the way to the floor. Don't release the core as you drop down, keep the core tight, holding it in. Let's take a breath in. This time you can take your hands away if you feel comfortable and you're not going to move around. If you feel that you start to move around, put the hands back down for support. Breathing in, pull the core tighter. Breathing out, squeezing up, pulling the core in, squeezing yourself up slowly, all the way to the top, holding it there. We're going to take this bridge slightly deeper if you want, your choice. You can take your hands underneath, you can take hold of your fingers and you can group them together, and you roll your shoulders underneath so you're pushing yourself up into a higher bridge. Holding it there, squeezing everything tight, keeping the core squeezed. Take the hands away, either by the side for support or on your tummy if you feel confident coming down without moving around. Breath in, core tight, and as you breathe out through the mouth, you lower yourself back down, one vertebrae at a time. Last thing to come down will be your your tailbone. Amazing, well done guys. Okay, we're going to go up and we're going to try and take a little bit of movement into it. Don't worry if you can't, just stay in the bridge form. Okay, so breathing in, pulling in the core, breathing out, squeezing everything up, lifting the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the thighs, coming up. Take your hands down for support, and then see if you can lift your right leg up. Don't worry if you can't, stay just in a normal bridge. Lift the left leg up, and down. We'll just lift it into a tabletop position, bringing it up, bringing it down, left leg up and down. Now see if you can push the right leg away, straight, and bringing it down. Keeping the core tight, push the left leg away, circle it up, and bring it down. Squeezing everything in, pushing the right leg away, circling it up, and bringing it down. Breathing in, breathing out as you push away with that leg, circling it round, breathing out as you take it down. Breathing in, breathing out as you push it away, circling it round, breathing in, and then breathing out as you bring it down. Excellent guys, breath in, breath out as you roll yourselves all the way back down. Last thing to come down is your tailbone, the core is still tight. Holding it tight there for a moment, don't let it go. Squeezing, squeeze as tight as you can, squeeze that core. Keep squeezing, and then release, let the core go. Okay, hopefully you're feeling those muscles working. So we're going to come up, you can come up by rolling up, what we call rolling like a ball, or you can come up from your side to a seated position. and wait for us to join you. Those that are coming with me, we're going to roll like a ball, so taking our hands behind our legs, and we start to roll. We keep the core tight, okay, and you start to roll. Try not to put the feet down if you can help it, so just coming up and the feet are hovering off the floor. Keep going. And the next time when you come up, stay there. Just hold it there. See if you can lift your right leg. See if you can lift your left leg. And then maybe lifting both legs. Taking the hands away. Holding it there for 8, 7, core tight, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take behind the legs, bring them down, and bring yourself around. Sorry, by the way, if you could hear my dogs barking, they made me jump just then. Oh, okay, just going to put a hair elastic in. Everyone, we're going to come around onto all fours. Grab a drink if you need a drink. It's very warm today. I did have a bit of a walk before I did this too with my dogs, and surprising how warm it is out even though it's cloudy. Okay, let me just have a little bit of a drink too. Okay, so this is where we're going to take our hand weights now. If you've got hand weights, put them either side. If you haven't got hand weights, doesn't matter. Don't need to use them. You can do everything with clenched fists, so all your fists are going to be nice and clenched. Or if you don't have hand weights and you wanted to use some sort of weight, water bottles full up make quite a good weight thing for you. So they're good. So we're just going to do a few cat cows, and we're just going to release that spine a little bit. So I don't just do the drop and squeeze. I roll my spine. I like to protect it, and for me it works. Again, it's your choice. You can do your breathing in, breathing out technique, or you can follow me. Whereas I roll around my spine and I breathe in as I go up, and as I breathe out I roll my spine back and I come up there. So breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Last time, breath in and breathe out through the mouth. Squeezing out and come into stillness. We're going to do some tricep kickbacks for the old tricep of the arms. So if you haven't got weights, then you clench your fist really tight. So when we're doing the right hand, you squeeze that fist and you work the arm, squeezing the fist. Okay? If you've got hand weight, come with me. We do it without hand weight. So we're just going to do 8 to start with. So breathe in, pull in that core, and then as we breathe out, we push the arm back for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Swap the weights over if you've just got one. Let's take that onto the other side. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that down. Take it back onto the other side. So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release that back down. Take it on the other side. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Put that down there. Leave the hand weights there for a moment. We're going to come up to standing. We're going to do a few Pilates, classic Pilates body to be coming against a wall, so hopefully you've got a wall there that you can go against, and you can go against the door obviously as well, so hopefully you've got a spare space, but we'll do that in a second. So curling your toes under, walking your fingertips back to your knees, pushing your knees off the floor, walk the fingertips back, push up until you've got nice flat feet on the floor, and allow yourself to just hang there. Wherever you are, just hang. Maybe doing a little turn, a little twist. You might want to take hold of the elbows. Just release the spine. Whatever's good for you. And then we're going to start to come up. So take your hands onto your waist. We don't want any head rushes, so we're going to come up slowly. Bend the knees this first time. Breathing in, pulling in that core as we come up. One vertebrae at a time to stand in. So the lower back, the mid-back, the upper back, the shoulders go back and down, the neck comes up, and finally the head. So we're in a standing, nice and tall, okay? We want to be one long string all the way through, pulling us up. We're going to take a breath in, we're going to roll our shoulders back and down, and as we breathe out through the mouth, core still tight, we drop our head down. So the head's coming down, and then the neck comes forward. The shoulders come forward, and then roll your hands down your legs. So the upper back will come down, the mid back will come down, and the lower back will come down. Go to your point of tension. Hold yourself there. Take a breath in where you are, and a breath out. Next breath in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth, you start to roll yourselves up, one vertebrae at a time. Now if you have to take a breath in and breath out as you're coming up, make sure you keep the core squeezed. So we're coming up, the lower back is coming up, the mid back, the upper back, the shoulders go back and down, the neck lifts, and then the head. Do that again, breath in, breath out, chin to chest. Core tight, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Shoulders are coming forward, the upper back comes down, the mid back and the lower back. Take it all the way to the floor, or wherever your point of tension is, have a hang. Take a breath there, breathing in, pulling in the core, and as you breathe out, you're going to roll yourself all the way back up. Squeezing the glutes as you do, protecting everything, pulling the core in, squeezing, protecting that spine. Shoulders go back and down, the neck lifts, and then finally the head. Okay, going to take ourselves to the wall, and we're going to step it up. So I'll do stages, and you can stick at the stage that's best for you. So just take my hand weights to one side for the moment. So the first bit is we're coming against the wall, and we're going to come down to a seated position with our back against the wall, nice and tight, okay? We're going to take our arms out in front, and we're going to squeeze our wrists. Or you can take hand weights, and you can squeeze there. So we're just going to hold them out in front, pulling in our core, and pushing our back into the wall, and we're going to hold it. If you haven't got weights, really squeeze those fists. Make those arms work. We're going to stay here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the weights down, bring yourself up, and give yourself a little bit of a shake. What we're actually working towards here is keeping a nice straight spine, so that when we start to pick up things, we don't bend and use our back to do it. We come down, and we're going to come down with a nice straight back and do it with that. But we're working up towards that. So let's do that again. So against the wall, get yourself into a nice seated position. Get your hand weights if you've got them. Keeping that back nice and straight, pulling in your core, tightening those muscles. Arms out in front, if you can. Holding those muscles, squeezing those fists if you've got nothing, no weights there. We're going to hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release. And bring yourself up to standing. Now, you can do that again, or you can come with me. We're going to take our feet wide, going to take our arms out, and we're just going to squat with a nice straight back. So the feet will be wide. The ultimate is to get our feet to sort of this point with our arms out and coming down with a straight back. But at the moment, I've not reached that. My back is really not a happy back doing that. But I'm okay here. So we've got our feet wide. We're taking our arms out in front, or we're against the wall. Wherever's best for you. Taking your arms out and bringing yourself down. Holding yourself here. We're going to hold it for 8. Squeeze those thighs. 7. Keep the core tight. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring yourself up. That's a hard one, guys. Shake those legs. Going to do it again, one more time. So again, either against the wall or with our legs wide as they are. Breathing in, pulling in the core. And as we breathe out, we take our arms out and we squat ourselves down and we hold it there. For 8, pull in the core. 7, don't hold your breath, keep breathing. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself up to standing. Well done, guys. Give those legs a little bit of a shake out. We've worked those. And keeping our spine protected while we're holding our core. Okay. So we're going to do the little lunges now. Again, you could use your hand weights. I'll bring them in because actually it is possible to use them for our squats. So, or lunges I should say. So standing to the back of the mat, keeping that core tight and pulled in. Going to take our right leg forward and we're going to come up onto the toes of the left leg. Okay. Now the knee, you should be able to see your toes in front of your knees. If you're too far forward, then you're not going to you're doing more damage. So we need to see our toes. And we're going to squat down and up here. So we're just going to do 8 with our hand weights here or our fists clenched, whatever's good for you. Let's go. So we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up. Bring that right foot for left foot forward so you're in line. Stepping back with the right leg up on the toes, making sure you can see your knees. You can see your toes in front of your knees. Don't want to be too far forward. Let's do 8 here. 8, 7. Don't worry about how far you come down. 6. Keeping the straight spine. 5, 4. Core tight. 3. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Last one. Bring the feet together. Give the legs a shake. Okay, let's do that again. So stepping back with the left leg. Making sure our knee, we can see our toes in front of them. Taking a breath in, pulling in that core, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in, breathing out as you lower. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bringing that step forward. We're going to do it one more time on our right leg. So taking the right leg back, up on the toes, checking in with your knee and your toes at the front. Shoulders back and down, core pulled in, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Ready? Breathing in, breathing out as you lower. Keeping that back straight. 2, 1. Bring that leg in, put those hand weights to one side, give those legs a nice good shake. Okay, bringing yourself back to the mat. We're going to roll ourselves down, we're going to come onto our back. We're going to do a little bit more leg work. So, shoulders back and down, standing hip width apart, pulling in that core, breathing in through the nose, and as you breathe out through the mouth, chin goes to chest. Shoulders coming forward, hands down the front of the legs. So the upper back comes down, the mid back comes down, finally the lower back. Taking your hands to the mat. If you need to bend your knees, that's absolutely fine. You do that, and you walk your hands forward. You come down, taking our feet, our knees mat width apart, locking our big toes together, sitting up on our heels. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, you're going to come down for child's pose, or you can take your legs together if that's better for you. So breathing in, breathing out, bring yourself down over the mat. Don't just relax for the moment. When you get down, pull your hands away. Really open the back of those shoulders. Work them, squeeze away, and then rest down. Child's pose is the pose where you can go at any point throughout a practice if you're feeling you need a little bit of a rest. This is the pose you take. So you can take your arms out in front, you can take them down by your side, or my favourite, I just like to rest them on my lower back. It helps the natural weight of my arms to just push down and open the hips a little bit more. But don't push down on them, just your natural weight. And breathe there. In through the nose and release through the mouth. Core's rested here, core's not tight. Bringing yourself up and sitting round, taking hold of a strap, your band, your dressing gown cord. If you've got one, you can do it without. We're going to come down. We're going to do like some sit-up. So see if we can do that. So if this is too much, you can just come down and just do sit-ups here. Okay? If you can come in with me, you're going to be coming up. So we've got our feet firmly on the mat, we're breathing in, we're holding our band, we're lowering our seat, curving ourselves down, we're coming over with our arms, and as we're breathing out, we're bringing ourselves all the way back up, feet staying flat on the floor. As you bring yourself up, pulling in the core, you get to here. Now if you're down here, then take the band around your leg, and you can do it from a laying position there, or you can come with me, and we're seated here, and we have our strap or band around our right leg, holding it into the air, and releasing it down there. We're doing up and down, up, down, up. If you don't have a band, you can do it without. You can lift your leg there, the core's tight, bring your leg up and down, and bring that down. Let's do 8 on the other side. So wherever you are, let's do 8 on this side. Four, 3, 2, and the last one coming down. Roll ourselves back again, our C curving down if you're with me, so breathing in, pulling in the core. C curving yourself all the way down to the floor. And we're going to take the same move that we did seated, we're going to take it from laying. So take around our right foot, our band or our strap, whatever you might have. So the left leg can be flat on the mat, or you can have it so that the foot is flat. You choose your option, and then we're just going to lift the leg up and down. If you don't have a strap, it doesn't matter. It can be done without. You're just lifting and lowering the leg. holding it up there. This is probably where a strap will come in handy, and it's a little easier, or whatever you might have. Taking your left arm out to the side, we've got our right leg up. We drop the right leg over to the right, keeping both shoulders firmly on the mat. Taking it out to the right hand side and holding it there. Feeling the opening in the left hip, in the right hip. And looking over to your left hand with gaze if you can. Holding it there for 8, 7, 6, core still tight, don't hold that breath. 3, 2, 1. And then on in-breath with that core really tight, you bring your leg back to centre. Try not to actually pull it up with the strap, try to actually pull it up with your core. But again, the strap's there for support. So let's take that on the other side. So taking our leg out along our right leg if you want, entirely up to you. Left leg in the air, let's do 8 drops. 8, holding that core tight. 7, in through the nose, out through the mouth. 2, and the last one. Holding that up there, and if you have got a strap or a band, it's a great idea to put it round the top of the foot. Just getting a people here with one. So holding it up, and then you can either have the opposite leg with its foot flat on the mat, or you can have it long. Arm out, right arm out. Taking a breath in, putting in the core, and as you breathe out, dropping that leg over to the left hand side, keeping your shoulders onto the mat and taking your gaze over to your right hand. Feel the opening here now in the left hip, so this time you will be feeling it in the left hip. You might get some pulling around the back. If you do, ease off with the leg. And then we're going to hold it here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And if you can, when you're pulling in the core, lift the leg using your core rather than pulling it up using the strap. Release the leg down and allow your core to rest for a moment. Let's put the strap to one side, we don't need that anymore. We're going to do a bit of stretching, and then we're going to come into some final relaxation. So I hope you've done a good, decent workout here. So let's take a little bit of a stretch. So bring the right leg in, taking behind the front of the shin, and pull that leg in towards you. Really squeeze it tight. Keeping the core tight as you do so. And then if you can, take your right hand around the right side of your foot. So you're holding on the sole of your foot to the right hand side of it. And then see if you can squeeze that knee down towards the armpit. Keep it in a nice straight angle. You might be up here, you might be there. Wherever you are, nice pull down, stretching out. And then release that leg down. Let's take that on the other side. So bringing in our left leg. Squeezing it in, holding the core tight. Squeeze that leg. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Then taking your left hand around the outside edge of your left foot. And then bringing that down into your armpit where you can. Hold it there for a few moments, feeling the stretch. And don't put that one down, take that foot, so left leg over the thigh of your right leg, and then just push away, gentle push, nothing too harsh, on against the sort of top of the thigh towards the knee. Push it away so you're getting an opening there. And then take behind the left thigh no, the right thigh even, and bringing the leg in. Gosh, I need to get my rights and lefts around the right way. You can take the right leg up and squeeze in from there. Pushing in with the elbow, pushing into the left leg. And then releasing down. Let's take that on the other side. So taking the right leg onto the left thigh. Pushing away that right leg, just gently, just pushing away. Any pain or anything that you feel, release out of it. Just don't work through pain, that's not good. Listen to your bodies, and then bring in the left leg towards you, taking behind the thigh, squeezing it in, pushing the right elbow into the right knee and pushing it away. And then if you wish, you can bring the leg right up, so the left leg straight. And then release that back down. And taking your feet, you can take them mat width apart, you can take them hip width apart, or you can come with me and you take the right leg over the left leg, taking your arms out into a T shape or cactus, breathing in, pulling in the core, and as you breathe out, drop the legs over to the left-hand side, wherever you are. Drop them down and rest into that pose. Let everything go. Gentle spinal twist, gentle opening. In-breath, pulling that core, and at the same time bring your legs to centre, uncross the legs, keeping the core tight, don't let that go at the moment. Keeping the core tight, if you're with me, taking the left leg over the right, or wherever you may be, pulling in, pulling that core tighter, and as you breathe out through the mouth, hold that core as you drop the legs over to the right hand side. Get to your point of tension and let everything go. Release and soften into this move. Feel the opening. On your next in-breath, pulling the core. At the same time, bring your legs to centre, uncrossing the left leg, centering your spine, breathing out and letting the core go. Let everything go. Just a few gentle windscreen wipers with the legs to one side and then the other. Just slow, gentle movements, just releasing the spine. Come into centre. Stretching the legs out if you can, or having the mat width apart with the knees locked in. And as we did at the front of the class, at the beginning of the practice, do our full body stretch wherever we are. Don't forget pulling in the core. And as you breathe out, pull that core tighter, press that spine into the mat and stretch away. Stretch. And then release down. Shake the legs. Shake your torso, bring the arms down to the side, shake your arms, wave them around, lifting the shoulders up and down, and then just gently rolling your head from side to side, releasing out your neck. Then come into centre. Taking your shoulders back and down. Bring your palms up if you need to bring in some energy. If you've been feeling a bit lackluster, then bring some energy into you. Or if you feel like you need to be grounded a little bit and you want to, soften yourself down, put your palms downwards. It's your choice. We're going to go into a full relaxation now, so get yourself comfortable. If If you're cold, put on any layers. And if you're like me, you're stemming hot. And then we're going to start to slow our breath down. Letting everything relax and soften. Closing the eyes down now if you can. Looking internally at your body rather than focusing on things around the room. Let the toes soften and drop outwards with the feet. Soften the ankles, your calves and your shin bones, your knees and your thighs. Soften your glutes. Let the pelvis rest and go down softly. Releasing your lower spine and your lower core. Releasing your mid-spine and your tummy. Your upper spine and your chest. Your torso heavy in the ground beneath. Let it soften. Let it be deep. Let your fingers relax. The palms of your hands, the back of your hands. Your wrists. Your lower arms. Elbows and your upper arms. Both of your arms heavy and weighted in the ground beneath. Let the shoulders be heavy. Feel them drop, release into the ground. Let your neck be soft. Finally, your head. The heavy that feels in the mat and the ground beneath you. Let's release our facial muscles. Let's release that jaw. Let your cheekbones soften. Your eyes. Eyebrows, your forehead, and the top of your head. Your whole body now surrendered, the weight of it rested heavy in the mat beneath you. Gentle breath in and out through your tummy. Let everything go. That come into your mind, just acknowledge them and let them go. Take your thought back to your breathing pattern. visualise the room around you. Start to deepen the breath. Take a big breath in now. Fill your lungs. And release on the out breath. Start to wriggle your fingers and your toes. Bring some movement to the legs and the arms. Lifting the shoulders. And then when you're ready, taking the feet so they're flat on the mat. And then shifting your hips to the right hand side if you're coming down to the left. And shift your hips to the left hand side if you're coming down on the right. So left hand side with low blood pressure. You shift those hips over to the right and you drop yourself over onto your left hand side and you make a pillow with your arm. And you rest there, keeping the eyes closed down if you can. Our lungs are now free and open in our back. So we're going to breathe deeply into them. So breathe into those lungs through the nose. Breathe in. Let it go through the mouth. Do that again. Really fill those lungs. Breathing in through the nose. And let it go through the mouth. And then when you're ready, we're going to bring ourselves up onto all fours. Try and keep the eyes closed if you can as you push yourself round. And then you're looking down at the floor. Gently blink your eyes open to look down. Curling your toes underneath. Walk your fingertips to the side of your knees and push your knees up. We're coming up to standing. We don't want any head brushes, so we're going to be doing this slow. So bring your fingertips a little bit closer and push yourself up so that your feet are now flat on the floor. And allow yourself to hang like a rag doll. Just hang there. You might want to take hold of opposite elbows. You might want to do a little twist. Entirely up to you. And come into centre. Take your hands onto your hips. We're going to take a big bend into those knees this time. Breathing in as you pull in that core. Squeeze the glutes as you start to lift. Keep the core tight. Straightening the legs, lifting the lower spine, the mid spine, the upper spine, drop those shoulders back and down, lift the neck and the head. Excellent. Let's take our feet wide, give a big breath in, breathe out, release those arms and legs, do that again, big breath in, breath out, shake those arms. Bringing your feet together, taking a big breath in, hands together, bring them down to your heart center, give yourselves a bow, and give yourselves a clap. Well done guys, hope you enjoyed that.